Renowned American economist and Nobel Prize laureate Professor Joseph Stiglitz has slammed some of South Africa's economic policy choices post the global financial crisis. He was speaking at the Department of Trade and Industry's Economic Policy Dialogue in Midrand this morning. Now, the current round of discussions is looking at the rand exchange rate and its impact on the local manufacturing sector. Our reporter Leuta Motlogelwa spoke to Professor Stiglitz a short while ago. He started off by asking him what we need to do to grow our manufacturing sector.
You should have used the resource, the money that you were getting during that boom to help diversify the economy, build more infrastructure, put yourself on the basis of a more shared and sustained growth path. But instead, what happened was much more of a financialization of the economy rather than the promotion of the real economy.
So how do we go about trying to get this right?
Well, a key variable in this that I was talking about is the exchange rate, making sure you have a stable and competitive real exchange rate. It's only one variable. You also need to make sure there's access to funds for small and medium-sized enterprises. One of the problems in the past, in not only South Africa, but most countries around the world, is that small businesses have difficulty getting access to capital, that you need to have good infrastructure, access to electricity. So all these are ingredients. So having a stable and competitive exchange rate is necessary, but it's not sufficient.
Talking about that stable and competitive rand exchange rate, basically what you're talking about here is removing the volatility that we are seeing in the rand. But how do you go about doing that?
Well, that requires a number of instruments. One has to begin with an analysis of what is the source of the volatility. One aspect of the source of the volatility is the volatility in natural resource prices. And so that's where a sovereign, as a stabilization fund, a sovereign wealth fund comes in as an important instrument. Another important source of instability is the short-term capital flows. They come in and out, driven by market irrationality, QE policies in other countries. It's important to put up some barriers to these destabilizing flows. We call them capital account management techniques that stabilize both the flows and therefore the volatility of the exchange rate. And finally, there's direct intervention. Direct intervention by buying and selling foreign exchange. What I would argue is that you need a whole portfolio. You need to use all of these instruments. Which you use and how you use it depends on the circumstances.